On, and here we go. Hey y'all, welcome to the Women's Wellness Lounge show. I'm your host, Elena Watkins, and we are in the studio in our actual wellness lounge. Y'all know how excited I am about that. We are continuing with the Becoming Her series, and today we have none other than my sis, Yalmikia Edmonds. I'm so excited to have you, sis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
So welcome. Yes. Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna tell a quick story. So I think it was earlier this year, maybe the end of last year, she reached out to me and was inquiring about being a speaker at an event that I was hosting. And I didn't see the message until after the event. And she was like, I really wanted to meet you. I really wanted to meet you. Fast forward, we ended up becoming members of the same organization, which is Opulent Ladies and Business Association. And she said, you're Delaney Watkins. I wanted to meet you. I didn't about you. And then just from there, the chemistry just kind of happened. And so I'm excited that although you weren't able to be on that platform, to be able to share this platform with you.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited because when I first saw something on Eventbrite for you, I was like, oh my goodness, everything she's doing is in alignment with what I do, even though, we do in two different industries.
Correct.
And I was like, I'm going to just go ahead and shoot my shot. And I'm going to reach out to different events that's happening on Eventbrite, and yours was one of them. And so, we here, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing, and I just love the ambiance. It just feels so well.
It does, and that means that I accomplished what I set out to do. So when I get feedback like that, it lets me know that I did it.
Yes.
So I want to kind of revert back to what we just talked about and make a point, because this whole series is really about, kind of pushing past challenges and the whole Becoming Her, empowering us, embracing equity, which is the theme for Women's History Month. And part of what you said was, I'm gonna shoot my shot, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I want to impart on the listeners and, those that are watching us live or the replay, is that sometimes you just have to shoot your shot. You don't know what it may turn into, whether that no will eventually become a yes, or whether that, you just putting your name out there to kind of deposit that into that person that you might not be, able to accommodate me on this platform, but keep me in mind for something else. So what made you say, okay, I'm gonna just go on Eventbrite and just decide, I don't even know these women from, Adam, but I just want to,
So I was in a class, a business class at my school at the time, and we had someone sharing resources about how to get your business out there. Okay. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm kind of like where I want to be in my business. Now I want to put myself out there as far as being an inspirational speaker, because I love to talk.
Okay.
I love to speak, and I love inspiring women. And so I was like, well, instead of me going on here trying to, reach out for my business per se, but let me try to see if I can reach out to people that's having events that's in alignment with what I do, that I can possibly speak at. And yours was one of them that came up, and then I ended up finding you on Instagram, and I followed you on Instagram, and I sent the inquiry through Eventbrite, and I haven't heard back from you. But I followed you on Instagram so that I can see you come down my timeline. I'm keeping you at the top of my mind. And then when we was at the event through Opulent Ladies, you was in the back, and I said, oh my goodness. There she go right there. And so that was my opportunity to shoot my shot again and just to get to know you and, network, because that's what the organization is all about anyway. So it's like, well, why not? That's what we here for.
Perfect opportunity. Yeah. And that's the second part of what I was going to say. It's just the networking piece. Whether you're a novice, newer business, or a veteran, right? I think that networking is where the golden nugget is. And networking in the right spaces as well, because you can spin your wheels networking in places where, it won't net anything. And I'm not talking about, contract deals, anything like that. That's not always what will be the end result of a network.
Right.
One connection can lead you to your next,
exactly.
thousandaire, right?
And just building rapport,
Mhm.
building relationships and community. Because I think that for me, that's where everything else will come from, will follow.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's about building relationships and
Mhm.
rapport. I love to inspire and help women on all platforms that I'm on, whether it's in my business
Mhm.
or even in the home being a single mom. It's just in me.
Yeah.
So I can't get away from it if I try to. But networking for me has definitely opened doors for me.
Right.
It has definitely helped me on my journey within my business and even in my personal life. I met so many people along the way. People refer people to me for my business and the services I provide.
Right.
And then people referring people to me to speak.
Yeah.
So being in these environments and networking and getting myself out of this hermit phase, because I used to be afraid to come around people. And so I was like, I gotta put myself out there. Like I'm a quality person. I have a lot to offer. I got a lot to share. So let me put myself out there. And so I started reaching out to different platforms and organizations, and then being a part of Opulent Business Ladies Association has definitely helped me too. Actually, that platform has given me my first opportunity of this year to speak, which was where I met you at in person. So,
and coming out of what you turned, that hermit, like you said, your professional business is successful. So let's talk about that, because what you did was, and even for me, I'm successful in what I do in the health and wellness industry, but I knew that I had more in me, and I knew that I wanted to do more. So it was, what does that look like? And although in my mind, I knew what it was I wanted to do, I didn't necessarily have the resources.
Right.
Or the people at the time that could connect me with the right resources. So in your business, tell us what that is. We know that now you want to inspire and speak, but what is your business that initially kind of gave you that idea of this is what the next step that I want to take?
So servicing my clients, dealing with alopecia, losing their hair. A lot of stories come from different women on how they, lose their hair. And I'm talking about going through a toxic divorce, losing a loved one, having medical illnesses such as cancer.
Right.
When a client comes into my practice, the first thing I ask them is, what's your story?
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me what their story is and how it led up to them experiencing alopecia. And so hearing the stories from different women, it inspired me.
Right.
And I wanted to,
so you knew.
Yes, I wanted to do more. So, and put me in a space of wanting to reach more women, because I was like, how many other women is experiencing this?
Right.
And I can relate to some of them, like as far as going through a toxic divorce, that's my story. Alopecia is not my story, but I have women connected to me and my family and even my clients that's doing it. I mean, that's experiencing it. So that's enough for me to have empathy and compassion to want to, raise awareness on that. And so honestly, it just kind of came with flow. Like I shooted my shot with that by creating this platform for me to be able to raise awareness. And that's how I began speaking. I created my platform. I started hosting events, which is a Women's Enlightenment Conference. And I actually had one coming up on April 23rd.
Right, I was getting ready to say, love that, because I saw that. So talk about that a little bit.
So that too.
So what's it called again? Because I like how you connected. I think it was alignment and alopecia.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, alignment and alopecia. So you guys can look that up and make sure you follow Yalmikia as well on her social media to find out about that, because that did show up in my timeline, and I wanted you to mention that today on the show. So with that event, what is your primary goal? Because everything I do, I always say this, and all my friends and all the people that I talk to or mentor come into their space, I always say, start with the end in mind. What is your reason for hosting that event?
So the reason for me hosting that event is to help women to identify who they really are. And that's why I called the theme was alignment in alopecia because you can apply this to anything across the board, no matter what you're going through. But specifically when it comes to alopecia, women, when they lose their hair, they lose their identity. They lose who they really are. And so my goal is to help women get back to that space of having a sense of self-awareness, knowing who you are. And even though this is your story and this is what you're going through, you still have to be aware of who you are no matter what. So yeah, I lost my hair, and your story behind what caused it, whether it could have been cancer or it could have just been life in general.
Right.
Don't lose yourself. You know what I mean? So still be aware of yourself. It's okay for you to have your moments, but don't stay there.
Right.
So don't lose your identity. Don't lose your self-awareness, and most importantly, don't lose your self-love. So that's my goal for this event, is to help women to get back to them knowing who they are.
Right.
Because not all women, but most women, they begin to lose themselves. They begin to lose who they are.
Right. And we do place a lot of identity on aesthetically what we see, and we do tie a lot into our hair as women. And some people will get to a place where if it's lost because of illness or trauma, or it's related to something, when they cut it off or they lose it, for them, maybe that's the loss of whatever that thing is, right?
Yes.
To help them. So there's a couple of different ways that you can approach it, but I like how you talk about aligning it, whether it's related to the fact that you lost your hair due to a traumatic, situation, or whatever the case may be, that doesn't define you, right? So I like that connection with the whole alignment. So again, guys, welcome. If you're just joining us on the Women's Wellness Lounge Show, I'm your host, Glenn Watkins, and we are in the second installment of the Becoming Her series with Yalmikia Edmonds. And we are basically at this point in the show sharing about not only Yalmikia's business and what her mission is, but truly about women embracing, shooting their shot, as she called it, stepping into greatness, and really within that, looking for or finding your tribe of women that can help you, that will selflessly point you in the right direction of resources, right, and support. Because even if I don't have a resource, I'll come support you. If I can't attend your event, I may buy a ticket and donate it to someone else, right? So it's really understanding how your involvement with another person's success, what that may look like, right? So you shared a couple of different things with the organizations you joined, a coaching program that you were in. So it really comes with you being able to prepare yourself for success and kind of going into it.
Absolutely.
So tell me one, since starting this journey, tell me one major roadblock, hurdle, something that you felt like you had overcome, or that you are in the midst of going through to overcome. And it could be something that's related to your business. It can be something personal. Here's my thing, and I'll just quickly share with you. For me, just moving out of the space and being here, affirming myself in this space, it was fear. Fear of both ways, right? So it's fear of success and it was fear of failure. Me being in this space and not really knowing, because I tried this before, is it the right time? Is it the right, venue? Is it the right, everything? Where will the clients come from? Where will the money come from? Like, I could go through this whole litany of things that could have really stopped me from saying yes. So the roadblock could really just be you, right? That whole mental gymnastics, as I call it, right? Sort of us staying in our head. So for you, I know you're making, not trying, you are making some major moves right now with, really trying to move into this next phase of your business. So what right now, if any, are there any roadblocks?
I would have to say the roadblock that I am experiencing is fear, but it's very minute because this isn't new for me. Like, this has been a journey. So I'm grateful because where I'm at now, my fear is really, really slim, right? So in my mind, on this journey, it's been over 10 years for me in this industry, and I have grown every Yeah. And so for me, it's a small amount of fear, but even in that small amount of fear, my belief is just so beyond that a little bit of fear. I don't even, it's like you mentioned, you know, having a fear of, you know, failure or having a fear of things working out, but either way, it serves you. So even if it's failure, it's serving you, and if it's working out, it's serving you, right? And so for me, I recognize that on my journey. So now it's like, I look at it like this: God gave me this idea. I believe and I know God gave me this idea. So God is going to supply me with everything else.
Listen, I am one to attest to that, okay? Honestly. And like you said, 10 years on the journey, and I tell people this all the time. You know, social media is one thing, right? People will look at you and see, oh, she did it, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the grit, the grind, and everything else that happens sort of behind the scenes, the praying, you know, the locking arms with folks, the, you know, journaling to, you know, affirm to manifestation, like everything that you go through, researching, you know, going down this road, or maybe this isn't, you know, the way that I should be doing it, or let me rethink it, or, you know, let me sit under someone else to help mentor me so that they may be seeing it from a different angle, right? So that's exactly what I did. When I took this big leap, right, into this, I actually, you know, she wouldn't call herself my coach, but I call her my coach, Cynthia Goodham. So Miss Pretty, she is one person who can look, you know, we've been in each other's spaces for quite a while. I wasn't really fully stepping into my gifts, but she pushed me into it and said, you got your $1 million right here in your phone, in your book, in your journal. You are the $1 million, you know, business. You dig deep into you. And I'm like,
that's it.
She had to make me, you know, pull out of me that understanding of what we're talking about today, becoming her. Right? Oh, and it was me stepping into that. I had to like fall back and then say, you know what, she's right. She was like, I want you to write down everything that you want to have happen at the Wellness Lounge. And she said, you're all of those things.
Right.
You've either done all of those things or
you experienced it.
Yes.
You already know it.
Absolutely.
You're an expert at it.
Absolutely. So I think sometimes when we kind of, you know, put out there what it is that we want, it's the vision that we have, but it may not manifest itself.
And it's not going to manifest identically. And it's that's why we have to live in flow, because we can have this idea.
Y'all get that? Live in flow. Hashtag live in flow. Okay, I like that.
we have these visions and ideas. Like, we are a manifested human being, and I believe that we are here to express God. That can be through right now. This is an expression of God. You creating this platform and everything, and so all of this was a thought. A while ago. And so for us, our fear comes from us also wanting it in the now, and also thinking that in that now, but what if this don't work out? What if this don't work out? What if this don't work out? Now those thoughts will come. But what I had to learn and understand is I had to put some things in action and then fall back. You know what I mean? Like, and I had to learn it through prayer, meditation, spending a lot of quiet time and practicing solitude, so I can really understand and hear God speak to me, because it's frustrating.
And it can, a lot of noise will come in when you're almost at that breakthrough. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to go right into that, because you touched on something about, you know, doing it, taking your hands off of it and not waiting, you know, wanting the now, right? And it kind of aligns with that whole sowing the seeds and being able to wait. So again, if you guys are just joining us, I am your host, Elena Watkins. You are watching the Women's Wellness Lounge show. And of course, you know, it's Women's History Month, and this is our Becoming Her series. And today we have Yalmikia Edmonds. So when we return from our quick commercial break, we're going to come back and talk about that, wanting that now results. So so we're gonna really quickly, and then I'll see if we have any questions in the chat as well. Wellness Lounge Show. Again, I'm your host, Elena Watkins, and we're here with Yalmikia Edmonds in the Becoming Her series. So she's just dropping nuggets. She went from shooting her shot to now talking about what that looks like in the now. And I want to take this moment to again welcome you guys to the show live or the replay. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Marnay and Yalmikia, who I know is joining us live. Hey ladies, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us and sharing this episode. So talk a little bit more about that. Putting it out there, taking your hands off of it and not wanting the instant gratification.
Yeah, so when we have these ideas and visions, we apply some action, and applying action for me could be, journaling and just trusting and believing and start, buying stuff. Or like I told you about the space next door. When I found out about that, I came down, I touched it, and I said, oh, this is mine. Things like that, right? Because I'm believing that God is going to put the cooperative components together for me that I can't see. And so I fall back and I allow God to do that part. But in this physical part, I'm still out here networking, I'm meeting people, and everything will
it's gonna
and it's like divine, and to see it actually happen, it just heightens my belief. Actually, it's just I know. So because I've been doing it for so many years, and I've been learning how to let go and do stuff, because trying to do it myself, it can become.
We just get in the way. I
can
promise you, we get in the way, right?
Yes,
As someone who honestly, and once you do that and take your hand off of it, it will surprise you.
But
it will bless you.
When you
it does. Listen, we talking about it, y'all. And yes, it sounds like it might be easy, like we talking about, oh yeah, just put it out there, take it. That part is so hard. Especially when you are committed and you feel so strong in your conviction about what you're doing, right? You're not just following a trend, right? You're not just chasing the next big thing. This is who I am.
Yes.
This right here is who I am. If this was to be my last day on earth, I promise you what will be said about me is in the things that I've done and what I do. I didn't follow, a trend or someone else, or, thought that this was where I was supposed to be. I truly am walking in my gifts each and every day.
This is what she told you to bring outside of you. So when you mentioned the word I am, those two words is something that resonate with me, because I created products, and on my products I have affirmations. I am affirmations. And I even did a photo shoot with those two words. I am, because I, to me, represents I am the offspring of God, right? Am is God. So we are in oneness with God. And so how you show up and express yourself, and the Women's Wellness Lounge is helping women. That's not you. That's God using you to help other women, right? And so for me, I'm just grateful to be able to identify that part, because knowing it, it makes it easier to fall back, because it's God's plan.
Absolutely. And I think, again, as you go further and deeper into that process does become a little bit easier. It does. I think it becomes a little bit easier to kind of take your hands off of it and then really truly believe, because you get to a point where you realize you can't control everything anyway. So,
exactly.
You have to kind of
so
get
you
to that
might as well
point.
just fall back. And I'm going to tell you something. When you fall back and just be, and I don't know, find something else to do. I'll sweep the floor. I'll water my plants. I literally be like this, and I said, and God is like, chill, just chill. You good? I got you. And no, it's no lie about that. Because when I'm out here and I'm networking and I'm meeting people, and I'm doing what I'm doing, I just feel so good. I feel so grateful. I feel good. Something great is gonna come out of this. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it. And
just dropping those seeds on rich soil, right? So that is so important too. Some of them might fall on bad soil, but if you're dropping those seeds along the way on rich soil, right? And I'm gonna jump back real quick to something else you said about nurturing relationships when you're out here networking. When I look at my tribe or my circle of influence of individuals, all of those relationships are at least 5+ years. So that's what nurturing relationships look like. So when I look back at that, when you spoke about that, I thought that is so true. right? You can network, and maybe you network with somebody who, again, may connect you with someone else, and you may never see that person again.
That
right?
happens all the time.
May not ever see them again, but the connection that they may have connected you with may become a relationship.
It happens. It happens.
And to nurture that.
It happens all the time. I think that when we, networking and we building relationships and building rapport with people, for me, I know, but a lot of people that I have met, not family, and I mentioned this at the event, how, my family is people that I don't know. A lot of people who love on me, who support me, I have found to be, that's my family.
Right.
And so for me, it just helped me to, not even, take things personal or feel away when I don't get the support from like my family or people I hold close to my heart who I thought would. Because I realized that to have strangers, and I don't even like to say strangers, to have people who reflect me, support me, because I see me, to have them support me is like, it's a blessing. It's a huge blessing, and I'm so grateful.
And that's a big thing too. You said something about, I struggled with that when I first got into business, right? Because we think that our girlfriends, our family should be the ones to show up, but that's not all. Yeah, they may, wish you well or kind of be there for support, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're your consumer or your demographic, right? So I think, again, once we grow in business, we learn to know that, right? So their support may come from other ways.
Yeah.
So it could be them referring someone to you, right? It could be them sharing about your business.
Yes.
So I don't always look to now. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I first started this, I was like, I ain't talking, she didn't even come so way. I don't.
Or they want a discount.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't, engage in that thought behavior now, but initially I did. And that comes with growth and with understanding and learning too, about your business.
I even asked God to forgive me in that moment, in those moments when I felt some type of way. Because I didn't know better, but they didn't know either, and once I began to grow and work on myself, that conviction came back to me like, it's okay. You can forgive them and it's all right. And it's just with anything, honestly, because I think once you let stuff out of your heart, let it go, you grow in your personal life and your business.
Because you got space for it now. You let all that go. So now you have space to grow, right? Because you've made space for that. So, all right, you guys, as always, listen, our conversations be so good. They're deep and enriching. And of course, we share nuggets. You might only get one, you might get two. Take the pieces that apply to you that can help, change your walk, change maybe what you're going through, your situation. Whatever you can take from today's episode, I, of course, invite you to do that. We are coming to the end of our show. I always hate when my time be like going by so fast. I just be like, oh my goodness. So we're going to end the show, but not without you sharing with the viewers, listeners, and those that are on replay, okay, because you didn't come in live, that's fine, love you still, how they can follow you. And I'm going to put your website up on the screen, but I also want you to tell us where we can find you and then mention your event again as well.
Okay. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Levonye Professionals, and that's LEVONYE Professionals. The event that's going to be coming up, which is April the 23rd, Alignment and Alopecia. We are going to be hosting an event for women that's experiencing hair loss, but women who are not experiencing hair loss is not limited. They can come as well. And at the event, like I said before, we are going to be helping women. We're going to be providing them with a plethora of information and knowledge for them to take away on how to cope with alopecia. We talk about the practical part of alopecia, like fixing it. We can do some services to help hide it or to cover it up or to help regrow your hair, but we don't really talk about the mental side of it. And so that's what we're going to be touching bases on. April 23rd is donate whatever you want.
I like that too.
Yes, I'm excited.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be, and it's going to be in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay.
It's 6820 Heritage Crossing.
Okay.
So it's going to be from 12 to 4, and that is on a Sunday. And we do have it virtual as well for people who can't make it.
Okay. Y'all heard that? It's going to be virtual if you're not local to the DMV.
Yes, that's who it's for the people that's not local.
Right.
But if you're in the DMV, we want you to come because we want to, we want to get this information out, but we want to network with more people. And a lot of women with alopecia don't even know
because they may feel isolated or that they feel alone. Anytime you're going through something that's different, automatically you think, okay, who else is going through this, right? And so I think that would be a good opportunity for them to come and just, again, see what other women are experiencing.
And then I'm even having one of my clients who have experienced alopecia for over 30 years. Like, she has no hair. And so she's bold enough and, she's going to be courageous enough to share her story. So she's going to be speaking as well.
Okay.
I don't have alopecia, but I can help in that area.
Right.
Like, that's my thing. But to have someone speak about it who actually is going through it is what I know will help those women that's going through
That's the powerful part. Yes. Right? That's the powerful part. Now, will you have demonstrations of how to cover it up and how to mask it?
So I do have a presentation, and I'm going to have it's a video where I'm going to be showing you different ways how you can cover up your alopecia and still look professional and look becoming and not looking like you just have on a wig.
You said that word, becoming. Becoming her.
Becoming, yes.
Becoming. I love it. Again, thank you guys. Her website is up on the screen, so make sure that you take note of that. Follow her on social media at Lavanya Professionals or Lavanya Brand.
Lavanya Professionals Brand.
Lavanya Professionals Brand. Again, thank you so much, Yalmikia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. So, guys, make sure of course, that you are following me. Share out this video. Take away, again, any piece of it that was enlightening for you, any bit of information that can help you. And if you need more information, of course, connect with myself or Yalmikia.
Yes.
All right. So you guys have a great day. We done. All right, that was really nice. I love it. The time always goes by fast. Yeah, it does. It does go by fast. It almost seems like time be changing in a way where it used to be. It didn't go so fast at one point. Yeah. Now it's like as soon as I go to bed, I'm waking back up. Yeah, that's crazy. So I have a flight to catch tomorrow because I'm leaving to go to Florida. And my flight leaves at 6:40. So I gotta be at the airport by at least. Oh, wait a minute. But you coming in this. Why is it saying we still going? Just close out the screen. I'm sorry, y'all.